When COVID-19 shuttered our theaters, suddenly there was a silence akin to factories closing down in Midtown Manhattan and across the country. I realized that I might never see the plays I loved produced on stage. But thanks to the generosity of theater artists, it became possible and economically feasible to produce stage readings on Zoom. These readings will benefit not-for-profits for our greater communities. Good evening. My name is Paula Vogel. Like everyone in our field, I carry a long list of plays that have either never been produced or have been underproduced. If the small off-Broadway spaces are lucky, there may be a review or two and then the play is gone, unpublished and unread. For the history of theater in this country has long been the history of the price of real estate. For our first series of Bard at the Gate, I've chosen 4 plays: Kernel of Sanity by Kermit Frazier, The Droll by Meg Miroshnik, Issa Davis's Bull Rusher, and Origin Story by Dan LaFranc. We are offering bare bones readings via Zoom, no bells and whistles. Just the most important resources our field has to offer: actors, directors, and stage managers. And most importantly of all, our imaginations. Our first Zoom, Kernel of Sanity, will be read by Matthew Hancock as Roger, Abigail Breslin as Rita, and Josh Hamilton as Frank. Gregg Daniel directs, Emily Lehrer stage manages, and Miatta Lebile reads stage directions. A shout out to Sam Rudy for his extraordinary press savvy, and to Matthew Glasner at Douglas Able Casting. Each writer is to choose a charity or fund for donations from those who watch our Zoom readings. Kermit Frazier asks that you might give a few dollars to the important work of Martha's Table, a not-for-profit in Washington, D.C. that for 40 years has supported pre-K education, nutrition, and family support. Please donate by going to the webpage, paulavogelplaywright.com. We thank you. Our next reading will be Meg Miroshnik's The Droll on July 15th, same place at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In 1978, I was the assistant to Win Hanman, artistic director of the American Place Theater, where one of my tasks was to read through the slush pile of scripts. To supplement my salary, I read scripts for 3 other theater companies. And one late night, I read Kernel of Sanity. The next morning, I rushed to work with the script. Win took the script home and read it. He came in and he told me, "Great first play." I asked him if he would do a reading. It was such a good play, he said, that some other theater would surely do it. I brought it around to every theater company in New York. No one did it. I sent it out for a couple of years and then moved on to form a playwriting program that would give writers with remarkable first plays what is necessary to sustain them: tuition, stipends, young artists to direct, act, and produce first drafts on $100 budgets. We found gritty spaces in a city where writers could afford to pay their rent. And Kermit Frazier moved on to write over 25 plays that were produced all over this country. He wrote and created television programs, essays, short stories, and taught graduate students at Adelphi University. In March, I contacted Kermit Frazier and asked to read Kernel of Sanity for the first time in 41 years. As you will see, it's all out there on the page. We will have a live post-show discussion with Kermit Frazier and Gregg Daniel on Zoom after the 80-minute reading To join the discussion, please go to paulavogelplaywright.com/barredatthegate or click the link in the description of this video. Fill out the RSVP form on that page, and we will reply with a link to the Zoom discussion as quickly as possible. And now it is my honor to introduce Kermit Frazier.
In the spring of 1978, when I was a 31-year-old actor doing a small role off Broadway, I began writing my first play. A play about the devastating experience of a black actor in his 30s who had done several small roles off Broadway. It began as a piece of prose fiction because that's also who I was, a young fiction writer with more than a dozen short stories under his belt. But this new piece, Kernel of Sanity, wouldn't stay a piece of prose fiction. It kept screaming at me that it was a play. After completing a couple of drafts, I had the first informal reading that summer with the second company of the Williamstown Theater Festival, of which I was a member that summer. And then that fall, I had a more formal reading at the Frank Silvera Writers' Workshop in Harlem. Then I did further rewrites and submitted it to a few theaters with varying degrees of thanks, but no thanks. A year later, though, I was fortunate enough to have it selected to be workshopped at the Eugene O'Neill National Playwrights Conference. But after that, the play remained in limbo, bouncing among rejections for 30 years until Woody King Jr., who among others had long been encouraging me as a playwright, finally produced it at the New Federal Theater in New York in 2009. Meanwhile, I'd gone on to write more plays, get many of them produced, to write for several television series, and to continue writing and getting published on occasion, fiction and creative nonfiction. But what I hadn't known over the years was how deeply affected by my first play the wonderful playwright, teacher, and mentor Paula Vogel had been. When she approached me at a McDowell fundraising event a few years ago and expressed how she had quit the American Place Theater in frustration as a young assistant/play reader over her inability to get Kernel of Sanity produced or even workshopped there, I was surprised and quite humbled. And a month ago, when Paula contacted me about her Barred at the Gate project and her desire to present Kernel of Sanity as one of the first 4 underappreciated plays, I felt further humbled. And now, with Kernel of Sanity being the first play out of the gate, so to speak, I feel I wrote Kernel of Sanity 4 decades ago out of impulses that propel me to write, to tell any story in any form. Character, desire, question, gesture, image, passion, rage, joy, anecdote, experience, wonder, love, fear. What if? What if? What if? 1978 was 42 years ago. But in important, frustrating, heart-piercing respects, 1978 is also today. As for theater, I forever believe that in all respects, if it is to be anything at all, at any time, anything truthful, it has got to live up to the root meaning of its name, the seeing space. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the performance.
Kernel of Sanity, written by Kermit Frazier. Steely Dan's Deacon Blues plays. As the song begins to fade, lights come up on Frank, who is dressed in cutoffs, a t-shirt, no shoes or socks, and sitting cross-legged on the sofa. He is writing in a notebook and smoking a cigarette. The room is a cluttered living room. Sofa and coffee table, easy chair, and an armchair. Hallway to bedrooms and bathroom and kitchen entrance on the side wall. Long table covered with books and papers is in front of windows. Telephone is on that table. There is a floor-to-ceiling bookshelf. The coffee table is cluttered with books, beer and soda cans, papers, envelopes, candy and gum wrappers, a couple of plates, used napkins, a half-filled mug of coffee, books of matches, empty cigarette packages. Clothes and books and papers are scattered everywhere. It's an afternoon in late May in the late 1970s in a small town in the Midwest. Frank reaches some ending in his writing and drops his cigarette into an empty beer can.
Yeah.
He paces around the room.
I had it with LA, see, with everything. I'd had it with this whole country. Actually, it came to me kind of in a flash. I'd driven up to Truesdale Estates, pissed off as hell. I don't know why I used to do that drive through Beverly Hills and Truesdale Estates. I guess the sight of all that decadent luxury just did something to my blood. I don't know. It was kind of like getting a fix. I even drove around those curves once, tripping on acid with good old Jose, best little Chicano actor west of the Rockies, around and around like riding those dead animals on a fucking merry-go-round. Man, were we ever gone. And we drove right up to this huge driveway and parked for a moment, sat grooving on these huge, ugly striped drapes these fuckers had for a garage door. And then after a while, we backed on out and drove away. And it was on the way back down that I missed a curve and almost drove us over a fucking cliff. Shit, my heart stopped and fucking Jose screamed. I could just see us flying over LA like a goddamn Cessna. Flying without wings because we were being supported by all this dense gray smog. Yeah, a magic carpet trip. Hell, we laughed about it for hours. One day, about 2 weeks later, I went up there for the last time. I'd been moping around the house, drinking, reading, trying to write this autobiographical story that was turning to shit right before my eyes like instant oatmeal. And Maggie was on the phone gabbing like a fucking magpie, and I was getting pissed off because it was like I was trapped in an underwater movie, slow, wet, gurgly. So I turn on the TV, turn on the news. But I mean, what do I expect, right? I get these actors with stuck voices and porcelain faces with little cracks for smiles, like they're new mass-produced versions of the Liberty Bell. And I hear about this important story and that important story, and on and on and on. So I pick up this shoe and I throw it at the picture of some asshole that's filling up the screen and sticking to my eyes like silly putty, and the fucking thing blows up. The TV, I mean. A 21-inch color TV, up in smoke, right in the middle of the living room. Man, what a sight. The fucking news of the day. Maggie rushes in all hysterical, shouting about bombs like it was in Northern Ireland or something. And when she sees the TV dead and smoking and me just sitting there, she starts cursing a blue streak. I try to calm her down by promising to buy her another one, but she cackles and says, "Yeah, with whose money?" Then I just get up without saying another word and leave the house. No shoes, no socks, just me and my cigarettes, driving my old beat-up VW, which only had a week left to live, up to the hills and Truesdale Estates. And when I get there, I park the car on some dry, fire-hungry grass just below a couple of $1 million homes for famous neurotics and look out over the city, kind of like those tourists in the Day of the Locust. And for the first time, I see nothing. Nothing at all. Oh, I know what's there, all right. But somewhere between my eyes and my brain, it becomes nothing. And I say to myself, Frank, it's the end, man. Then it was 2 more weeks of Zombie City for me, highlighted by several meaningful shouting matches with Maggie. And then back to this town on a Greyhound bus. Go Midwest, young man. Now, how is that for the beginning of a modern Western, huh? John Ford, eat your heart out.
He writes down that last sentence. Then he goes to a cigarette pack on the coffee table and finds it empty.
Oh, shit.
He puts his notebook down and begins searching through the things in the living room for more cigarettes. The doorbell rings, but he ignores it. It rings again as he continues his search.
I'm not home. Besides, I don't want any.
The doorbell rings.
Go away, I said.
The doorbell rings.
All right. Hang on. Damn it.
Frank goes to the door and opens it. Rita comes in. She's wearing a skirt and a cotton blouse and is carrying a small purse.
Rita.
Yeah, Rita. I forgot my keys. What were you doing? Sleeping?
No, as a matter of fact, I was working. What are you doing here this time of day?
I got off early.
To spy on me?
No, not to spy on you.
Frank continues searching for his cigarettes.
You've been doing dope.
So?
And beer.
So?
How much beer?
I thought you weren't spying.
I bet at least a 6-pack.
You know, it was really peaceful a moment ago. It was just a tiny second ago.
What the hell are you doing?
You see my cigarettes?
I just got here.
I thought sure I had another.
Does it make sense that I would have seen your cigarettes?
Okay.
You walking with me?
All right already. Jesus, you're a pain in the ass sometimes.
Where are your pants pockets?
They ain't in my pants pockets. Don't you think I got enough sense to look at my pockets?
Well, don't panic, for God's sake. Here, take one of mine.
Rita takes out a pack of cigarettes, finding that there are only 2 left. She takes one for herself and tosses the pack to Frank. They light up. Frank gets his notebook and sits on the sofa.
You're welcome. Frank.
What?
Frank, darling.
What is it?
Rita goes to Frank and snuggles up to him on the sofa.
Come on. Can't you see I'm working here?
Rita begins kissing Frank. At first he resists, but gradually he becomes more and more involved.
Still want me to get off?
Well,
They continue kissing.
let's do it.
What?
Let's do it.
When?
Now, right here.
No.
Come on, nobody's looking.
No.
Why not? I'm up for it.
Because I've got something really important to talk about.
Non-verbal action, baby.
I'm pregnant.
Frank lifts Rita off his lap and gets up and takes his notebook to the table covered with books.
I said I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And so?
What do you mean, and so?
And so what are we going to do?
Who knows?
My daddy's going to be really pissed.
I am not moved to tears.
What?
The Lion in Winter.
Now look.
Eleanor says that. I can't remember why, but it sounds appropriate.
You know I hate that.
Carol Stein.
Frank,
Eleanor to my Henry.
listen.
We were both too young, but
Stop it.
bitchy broad, that Carol. Kind of like you.
You son of a bitch.
You know, I had this dream this morning.
What?
Sometime this morning.
A dream?
I think it was this morning.
You're going to tell me about it
What time is it anyway?
now. Now you're going to tell me about this.
It wasn't like any dream I'd ever had.
I really don't want to hear this right now.
But it's relevant. It's really, really relevant.
All right, so you had this dream.
Actually, it was kind of like a vision or a revelation. I'm climbing up this huge, seemingly endless staircase, see, and it's rough, it's really hard, but I keep going, flight after flight after flight, because I know that when I reach the top, I'll be right up there. I mean, I'll just have it. I'll be on top. But this is all an illusion, this sense of progress, because every time I manage to climb a flight or 2 of stairs, some fucker with these giant hands picks me up and throws me down a few flights. And this keeps happening until I no longer have the sensation of climbing, no sensation at all of climbing. It's just this thumping sound in my head and bruises forming on my body as I keep being thrown down another flight of stairs.
What's your point?
My point, dear Rita, is that you being pregnant is just one more kick in the ass as far as I'm concerned. Just a perpetuation of the goddamn dream.
No, dear Frank. This ain't no dream I'm talking about here. It's reality. I'm talking about the real thing here. And now I'm waiting for you to say something real. I'm waiting for some real words to come out of your mouth for a change.
Look, I'm sort of tired right now.
No, none of that. I want some attention paid here. I want some attention paid to our dilemma.
Your dilemma.
Our dilemma.
All right, all right. Then I say good. Wonderful. I love kids. I got 3 of them already. 3 kids and 2 divorces. So let me marry you too. And you can have the kid and we'll just get this shit settled. Because right now, I don't want any more hassles. No more thumping sounds.
Married?
Yeah.
You think I marry you just like that? No questions asked? Get myself permanently hooked up with you just because I'm pregnant? You think that's what I want, huh? Is that what I want?
The woman is mad.
You've got your nerve.
This is a clear case of madness.
You really got your nerve.
Oh, wait a minute. Just wait a goddamn minute. You come charging in here bitching about some goddamn little person growing inside you and ask me what we should do. And when I tell you, you won't even hear it. Well, huh? Huh? Ain't that the way it went?
But how can I marry you? How would we live?
You work, don't you?
Oh, yeah, sure. And I suppose we'll move into my tiny apartment with all your books and papers and crap, and you'll just keep working on your projects while I bust my ass to keep us alive.
You got another cigarette?
Listen to me.
I heard you, damn it. You can come live with me. My father won't kick us out of this place, no matter how broke I am. Not as long as he thinks he can keep me in line. Jesus, do I need a cigarette?
And do you think I'd come live in this hellhole?
You practically live here now.
It ain't the same.
What do you mean hellhole? Just 3 bedrooms, a huge kitchen, a washer dryer. What more could you ask for?
A man with a job?
Details.
That's right.
Well, I won't need no job once I hear from Social Security.
You ain't getting nothing from the government. They're not going to think you're crazy.
Mental disability.
If anyone's crazy, it's me for hanging around.
Chambers filed an exquisite report.
You ought to be locked up for malpractice.
Well, at least I can hold intelligent conversations with him.
Oh, yeah? Well, at least I know a little bit about living. At least I ain't half stoned all the time. At least I ain't cooped up in no trashed out house trying to write some book that I'll probably never finish and that most people probably wouldn't give a shit about anyway.
I could really do without that now, Rita.
Honey, I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure.
No, I really am. I didn't mean it.
He kisses her.
No time for you to get pregnant. I'm just beginning to make some progress. I'm just beginning to... Oh, shit. I gotta have some more nicotine in my bloodstream before I die.
Frank exits to the bedrooms. Rita flops down on the sofa.
I did it. I actually did it. Listen, don't you sometimes keep a pack...
She gets up and goes to the table by the front door to look for cigarettes in its drawer. Finding none, she then begins looking through a stack of mail on the table.
Why don't you ever open your mail?
Because it's always either junk or $100 phone bills.
They're going to shut off your phone one day soon.
Yeah, let them. Hey, can I help it if I've got friends all over the country who need me?
Yeah, your friends need you like a polar bear needs the tropics.
My select friends are my link to sanity in a densely desolate land.
The only desolation around here is... Oh, Jesus, here it is.
What?
Guess what I found?
Oh, shit, I must be blind.
Guess so.
Well, give me one for Christ's sake. I'm dying here.
It's not cigarettes that I'm holding.
Come on, don't play around now.
What's more important than cigarettes?
Nothing.
Guess again.
A letter
Where?
that you're holding behind your back.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes, you do.
Frank chases Rita around the living room. When he catches her, he grabs the envelope from out of her skirt and moves in front of the sofa.
my God. It's the Social Security Administration.
So open it already.
Do you realize what this could mean?
Yeah. If it's yes, you're crazy. If it's no, you'll go crazy.
I could either work in peace or go down the drain.
What does it say?
Huh?
What does the letter say?
Rita? Your daddy's gonna shit in his pants when he finds out that you're gonna be married to a government-certified cretin.
Rita rushes to Frank and hugs him.
Honey, that's fantastic.
Son of a bitch!
Jesus, what am I saying?
It's a godsend. That's what it is. This is it. This is the end of all my problems. It's up to the top, all the way to the top. No more thump, thump, thump in the old stairs.
Yeah, thump, thump.
Would you call him right now? Call up good buddy Chambers. What a shrink.
Probably already knows the quack.
Call him up and give him the biggest telephone kiss he's ever had. What a genius. What a fucking genius.
The doorbell rings.
It's probably him at the door coming to claim his percentage.
Frank dials the phone. Rita goes to the door and opens it. In the doorway is Roger. He is dressed in slacks and a sports shirt and carries a shoulder bag.
Does Frank Tracy live here?
Yeah. Yeah, he lives here. Frank?
What?
Somebody here to see you.
Good.
Come on in. He's on the phone right now.
Roger comes in and Rita closes the door. She waits at the door behind Roger.
Look, Chambers, you beautiful son of a bitch. This is you-know-who, and I just want to say thanks and give you a big old kiss. Mwah. And if you can't guess why, then just give me a call. I hate those fucking machines.
Frank?
What?
You got company.
Hey, Frank.
Oh. Hi.
You mean you don't remember me?
Oh my God. I don't believe it. Cuckoo's Nest.
Right.
One of the aides.
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Don't tell me. I'm usually good at this. Roger Peterson.
Yeah.
Roger Peterson.
Said yeah.
Well, I'll be goddamned.
Frank rushes to Roger and gives him a big hug and kiss.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, old buddy, what the hell are you doing here?
Well,
It's Roger.
I know.
Christ, it's been, what, 3 years?
4.
4. Jesus, well, come in, sit down. What the hell are you doing here? How'd you even find this place?
Well, I'm on my way to the West Coast, and I thought, what the hell? I'll get off the freeway and...
Well, yeah, but how'd you know I was here? How'd you get my address?
Oh, Morris Hathaway.
Hathaway? Don't tell me you know him.
I met him at a party, and, well, your name came up eventually.
Yeah, he produced this post-Easy Rider, early 70s noir shit of a picture I was in. My director was an asshole, but what are you going to do, right? Man, it's such a trip that you're here. And you look so good, too.
Think so?
As good as ever. Not a day older in 4 years. Don't he still look good, honey?
I guess. What do I know?
Hey, I'm sorry, Roger. This is Rita. Rita Templeton. Rita, Roger.
Hi.
Hi.
Well, sit down.
Frank pushes papers and junk onto the floor.
I'm sorry about the mess. I've been too busy lately to clean up.
Yeah, busy.
You understand.
Sure.
Rita sits on the easy chair.
Man, what a surprise. We got 2 fucking fantastic surprises in a row. And what timing. An official aid straight from the Cuckoo's Nest. That's just what I need now, right, Rita?
Sure, Frank.
It sort of completes the illusion.
What
Makes
illusion?
it real as can be.
What illusion?
Frank's gonna...
And I just knew it. I just knew things had to be looking up. Been down so long, it looks like up to me.
Frank?
Richard Farina? Joan Baez's sister Mimi's writer husband dude? Man, did he know how to live. And what a way to go, huh? When I go, it's going to be something like that. Racing toward oblivion on a fucking motorcycle. Me and Farina and Dwayne Allman and Barry Oakley is leaving our names behind like skid marks on a fucking expressway. Deacon bluesing it all the way out with...
Frank, let him talk.
What?
Give him a chance to talk.
Oh, yeah. The left coast, huh? You're on your way to good old LA?
Yeah.
New York finally did it to you, huh?
Let's just say that.
You got a cigarette?
No, I don't.
Roger?
Sorry, I don't smoke.
Yeah, nasty habit. Honey, how about going to the store and getting us some cigarettes? No, wait. I'll go.
Don't be silly. You got company.
Who, Roger? Nah, shit, he ain't company. Besides, I need the walk. I can't keep still.
Why don't you take my car?
For 3 or 4 blocks?
You'll get back sooner.
No, I need the walk.
Frank searches for his shoes.
You sure you don't want me to go?
No, damn it, I said no.
Okay.
Frank finds his shoes and slips them on without socks.
Jesus, do I need a smoke?
Get me some vanilla wafers, will you?
I'm buying cigarettes.
So just turn left before you get to the counter and pick up one of those boxes that has vanilla wafers written all over it.
And beer. I got some beer. Oh, we gotta celebrate. It's celebration time.
Vanilla wafers, okay?
I'm buying cigarettes and beer.
Please.
I'm buying cigarettes and beer.
Frank?
All right. Honey, you got any money?
I've got some.
No, you got a long way to go still.
How the hell were you going to buy cigarettes and beer with no money?
Grief. All I get is grief.
Buy a carton.
That's my babe.
And bring back my change. There's 2 20s there.
Community property.
Not yet, darling.
Soon enough.
Don't hold your breath.
I'll be right back.
Frank,
Yeah.
it's really good to see you, man.
Yeah. Same here. Look, I won't be a minute. Sit down. Make yourself at home. And don't you tell him
Tell him what?
anything.
I won't say a word.
Because I want to tell him.
I won't say a word.
She'll talk your head off.
I won't.
Just see that you don't.
Will you just go, for God's sake? Don't forget my vanilla wafers.
Frank slams the door behind him.
I bet he forgets. His mind is like a sieve when it's convenient. Cuckoo's Nest?
It's a play. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
Oh. So who flew over it? You or Frank?
Neither one of us, actually.
Yeah, well, at least he's consistent.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, nothing. So you and Frank were close, huh?
In a way, yes.
Funny, he's never mentioned you.
Well, he had a lot of friends in New York.
Yeah, but the way he talks, listen, I'm sorry, I'm being so rude. Can I get you something? I don't think there's much, but I can check.
Just a cold glass of water would be fine.
You sure you don't want nothing else?
No, really, just the water.
Okay, coming right up.
Rita exits into the kitchen. Roger looks around, then gets up and begins to explore the room, looking through papers, books, etc. Rita enters with a glass of water and watches Roger for a moment as he looks through a book.
It's junk.
Really?
Well, most of it. To me, at least. Here you are.
She gives Roger the glass of water.
Thanks.
Roger drinks the water, then continues looking through Frank's books, his bag still draped from his shoulder.
It's a good thing you didn't want anything else. All I could find that was halfway edible was a jar of peanut butter and a couple of grapefruits. Of course, it's not always like that. I take care of him. Frank's a nut about books. That is, about having them around. I don't know how many of them he's actually read, but he likes having them around. I like to read some too, but having them around is another matter altogether, especially if you've already read them. I mean, what's the use of having a load of books around if you've already... What are you reading?
I'm sorry. That, pretty rude of me.
That's okay.
Roger begins wandering around the room.
Jesus, Frank shouldn't have left you like this.
No, that's all right. I'm used to it. Makes me feel right at home.
What does?
Waiting. You see, actors or always waiting to be seen, waiting to go on, waiting to get discovered. So waiting makes me feel right at home.
Oh.
I even used to wait backstage for Frank. Well, that is, wait for him to go on as McMurphy. Stick my eye up to this tiny little chink in one of the walls of the set. It was so small you could hardly see it from a distance, and yet through it, everything was on stage was so magnified, so crystal clear. I'd watch him work, watch how he moved, behaved, instinctively responded to everyone, everything. It was magic, what he did. Magic. It was so exciting that sometimes. And the part I had was so small, so nothing, just an aid, only an aid, hardly a line of dialogue. So what else was there to do but just wait and wait and wait?
You can put your bag down, you know. This here is one of them safe neighborhoods. That was a joke. Actually, you don't see guys carrying bags like that in this town. Because, I mean, this isn't the most liberal, up-to-date, open town in the world, you know. Me and Frank have problems enough, especially Frank. He grew up here, but he left cursing everybody when he was about 17, so nobody can understand why all of a sudden he decided to settle back here after all those wild years as an actor.
You say he settled back here,
Yeah, don't that beat all?
but Hathaway said,
Yeah?
no, I just thought he was still based on the West Coast. I thought this was some sort of vacation downtime.
No, he claims he's not acting anymore. That is not like you anyway. Are you a star or something?
Huh? Oh, nah, I'm more like a comet. That was the joke.
Well, I mean, have I seen you on TV or in the movies?
Not in anything you'd remember.
Frank's done lots of TV.
I know.
I've seen him a couple of times. You look so dumpy. I said, Frank, what did they do to you? He just said, it's TV, Rita, it's TV, whatever the hell that means. It's funny that Frank's never mentioned you because he's such a fanatic about his true friends. It's Michael this, Michael that, and Andy. And if I could just see Gloria and Tommy again. And guess who called me last night? All the way from Venice, the one in California, I mean. Jose. Well, what am I supposed to do? Jump for joy? I say, Jose who? And he gets mad because he remembers that I don't know. And so I say, if Jose is so goddamn important to you, how come you ain't in California with him? I mean, I didn't ask him to come back here. Hell, I didn't even know him until 6 months ago. But he's never talked about you.
Maybe he's never had any real reason to.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Well, were you and Frank ever lovers?
But lovers? You mean as in...
Yeah. No, don't get me wrong.
I don't think I'm getting you wrong.
Because if you were, it's okay with me.
But we weren't.
And it fits in with this theory of mine.
I said we weren't.
It's okay, really. You see, I figured that the reason Frank can never stay with women long, why he's always starting families and then getting divorces and all, is because he's so in love with himself that other people just keep getting in the way. So although he needs women to be with and be taken care of and stuff, it never works for long because he's almost always got this mirror right in front of his face that keeps him from seeing anybody else. You follow?
I think so.
But men are different. And knowing Frank, I figured that he's tried with them too, since at least they come closer to looking like him. Well, in a way. And since he spent most of his life around strange theater people, he's had plenty of chances to try a few men. I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it?
If you say so.
And maybe that's why he's never mentioned you.
Oh, I see.
Except I've never told Frank about all this because he'd just get pissed off, so don't tell him I asked you.
I won't.
But I just figured I'd bring it up and see how it fits in with my theory.
But we weren't lovers.
Okay.
No, really.
Oh, I know, and it's okay, really. Hell, you shouldn't have to be anything in particular. I mean, people are what they are whenever they need to be it. But you shouldn't have to be anything in particular. And it doesn't bother me really, or I wouldn't be who I am. And I damn sure wouldn't be with Frank. You know, most people in this town don't give two shits about me or Frank. And as far as I'm concerned, they can all just shove it. You've heard of Janis Joplin, right?
Of course.
Well, that's me, sort of. I even look a little bit like her if you squint.
Squint?
Yeah. Well?
No.
Nothing?
I'm sorry.
Well, sometimes. Anyway, I read this article about her once. She grew up a misfit. All throughout her life, people kept stepping on her face, so she became a singer. And when she sings, I can just feel her talking to me. I know what she's saying. It's almost like I can creep inside her skin and live there, and it would be a perfect fit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Smokey Robinson.
Huh?
It used to be Smokey Robinson for me. Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. When I was growing up, I was so in love with those records that sometimes I heard his voice in my head. It was so strange. I never understood what it meant then, what that feeling meant. Or maybe I was just afraid. Something outside of yourself penetrating you right to the bone.
Yeah. You and Smokey, me and Janice. Goddamn. High school phonies. You've seen pictures of Janis Joplin, right? So, you know that plain is a nice word for how she looked. But she showed them. She showed all those Miss Teenage Texas fluffheads. And when she sings, Jesus. Skin to skin. She's that close.
Yeah, I heard that.
But sometimes I wonder what difference it finally makes. I mean, I've got this job, see, where all I do is type letters and forms and answer the phone all day and announce people. So-and-so is here to see you, sir, and I'm sorry, so-and-so, but he's on another line. I'm like this filter, see? This filter on this cigarette. And somehow it just doesn't seem fair. I mean, all you really get is dirty. Other people's dirt passing through you like nothing about you really counted.
So then it becomes like oozing outside of yourself to find out who you are.
I beg your pardon?
Or like trying to stretch your skin so tightly over someone else's image that you feel you just might be able to absorb them.
Oh, yeah. Janice.
Frank.
Huh?
Frank burst through the door with 2 bags in his arms and a cigarette dangling from his mouth.
Roger, you old son of a bitch. So New York did you in, huh?
Excuse me?
What have you been doing? Soaps?
Oh, I don't know what you...
Of course, I never did one. It was too confining and all that repetitious, melodramatic double talk. I told Skeeter, my agent, not to even come at me with that shit. Still, why didn't you tell me? And what's waiting for you in Hollywood? A series? A movie deal?
It must be the fresh air. He hasn't been out in days.
No, it's the red Camaro, Rita. Roger's driving a brand new fucking red Camaro convertible.
Oh, that.
Shit, yeah, oh, that.
Just to give to myself, it's a long story.
I got time.
No, really, I'd rather not talk about it just yet.
Okay. All right, okay. But I'm holding you to it, you sneaky son of a bitch. Anyway, I stopped by the liquor store for some real booze.
Frank sets the bags on the long table and begins taking things out of them.
A real celebration. A 5th of gin, some tonic water, a 6-pack of Coors, a carton of Benson and Hedges, a bunch of Fritos Doritos, some nose-opening salsa, and vanilla wafers.
You got him.
She thought I'd forget.
Well, your mind is...
Like a sieve when it's convenient. That's what I love about her, Roger. Her utter, inimitable originality.
Go to hell, Frank.
I bet she talked your head off.
You did not.
Well, how about a beer, huh? Or a stiff gin and tonic?
No, she didn't. But first, I'd like to use your bathroom.
Sure. Yeah, it's just through there and to your right.
Thanks.
Roger exits with his shoulder bag.
Don't mind the shit. None of it's dangerous.
It's Frank.
Oh, man, am I tired.
Should have taken my car.
I should have taken his car. Anyway, I needed the exercise. In the sun, I'm getting pale as a ghost. Too much time cooped up in this goddamn place.
Frank takes a stash of marijuana out of a covered bowl on the coffee table and begins rolling a joint.
Hey, guess who I ran into at the liquor store?
Who?
Fletcher.
Oh,
He says to me, I thought you'd be dead by now.
that's nice.
What a thing to say to a guy I used to practically share a bar stool with. I almost decked the son of a bitch right there.
Good.
All my friends are gonna be strangers. Yeah, that says it all right. I wanted to tell Fletcher right there, tell him, hey, you just watch what you say, because you're talking to a crazy man who's got his shit together now, if you know what I mean.
Uh-huh. Frank,
What?
I don't like it.
Like what?
I think there's something wrong
With what?
with your friend Roger there.
The hell are you talking about?
I tell you, there's something wrong.
No, there isn't.
Yes, there is.
What then? What's wrong? What happened?
Well, nothing. It's just that I can just feel it.
No, you can't. You just don't know him, that's all.
I wonder what he's doing here.
He came to see me.
I bet he's on downers. Don't it seem like he's on downers?
Rita, will you stop? Maybe he's just tired. Besides, it could have been you. You know, what the hell did you say to him? Did you tell him?
No.
Because I wanted to tell him.
So tell him, for God's sake.
And keep quiet about you being pregnant.
Huh?
Pregnant. You know, your big news of the day?
Yeah, sure. He's been in there a long time. Don't you think you should see if he's all right?
See? What see? Why? Maybe he's taking a shit or something.
Jesus.
Well, if you're so worried about him, why don't you go see?
The sound of the toilet flushing.
See? Now just shut up and act civilized, for God's sake.
You should talk.
Yeah. Well,
What we've got here is your own personal jungle.
look, after we're married, you can help me blaze right on through it.
Fuck, I will.
Roger enters. Frank offers up the joint.
Roger, baby, have a toke.
No thanks.
Ah, come on.
Maybe later.
All right, so sit down. What do you have? A beer? Gin?
Gin.
Good. Honey?
No.
2 gin and tonics.
Right.
Rita takes things into the kitchen.
She keeps me alive, man. She keeps me from doing too many terrible things to myself. But hey, what's going on with you? What's been happening? How's New York?
Worse. I'm kind of bankrupt, actually.
Yeah, shit. Well, the whole country's kind of bankrupt.
Yeah.
It's really on the skids. That's one reason why I'm holed up here. I'm just trying to keep out of the line of fire. Because they're after us.
Who is?
The assholes. They're all out to get the few of us left who still have brains and imagination. You see, it's like this. I got this thing about entropy. You know, like the second law of thermodynamics, heat death, loss of energy. Physics applied to social shit.
Chaos.
Disorganization, sameness.
Things running down.
Yeah, that's it. Us, man, you and me. You know, I just had a feeling you'd understand. And so my objective now is to remain on the edge of things so that I won't be consumed, while at the same time preparing myself for when the fog lifts, if it ever does. Preparing myself mostly by reading and writing. It's important to keep your brain active. That's the key. What's so funny?
For a moment there, you sounded a little like my father.
Jesus, thanks a lot.
Oh, really? He used to lecture me when I was a kid about keeping my brain active.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, but he made it sound like some sort of categorical imperative. And when I left for New York to study acting, his biggest argument against it was that my brain would rot.
Well, has it?
No more than other things, I guess.
Yeah, I hear you. So listen, honestly, what's up? You've been doing Broadway or something?
No, not really. I did do this off-Broadway thing, though. A revival of Richard Wright's Native Son, the Paul Green stage adaptation. The old man Green himself even came to the show.
Wow. So how was it playing Bigger Thomas?
Bigger Thomas? Shit, I wish. I was Jack, one of his buddies. A step up from a cuckoo's nest aide, though.
Yeah, you know, climbing that old ladder of success.
I was in the running to be bigger. To do bigger and better things. All came down to type, perception,
Tell me about it.
fear, flight, fate.
Don't forget fucked. And then after that, what?
Kelly's on Broadway, though.
Who?
Kelly Mackin.
Oh, shit, no. Not Kelly.
Square business.
Good old Mr. Mumbles.
You got it.
I had to kick Finkelstein's ass 3 times to get him to get Kelly to speak up.
I remember.
Just because Billy Bibbit stutters doesn't mean he can't speak up. It's my method, he said. It was like trying to communicate with a guppy or something.
Yeah, it was a trip.
98% of them are 100% asshole.
Oh, remember that night at Phoebe's?
Oh, man, do I ever?
Kelly jumps up to stop Lonnie and Alton from going at each other over some stupid shit and knocks a full glass of beer right into Alton's lap.
Right, and then Alton grabs Kelly and goes to dump his glass of wine spritzer over his head before I step in.
It's not my fault, Kelly shouts.
It's always your fault, Alton shouts back. That's your
That's
character,
your character, man. Your
fucking
fucking character.
They fucking never knew when to come up behind it all. Let it go.
Frank wraps an arm around Roger.
Oh, I had a fucking ball doing Cuckoo's Nest. I really did.
I guess so. It was all you.
Roger moves out of Frank's grasp.
What do you mean?
You, Frank. You took the stage. You ran with the ball.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm a good old quarterback from way back, you know.
The power and the glory.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Back then, anyway.
Man, Kelly didn't have no talent. Or better yet, his talent was negative. He had to sap other people's just to make it to 0. Slurp, slurp.
I guess that's what it was then.
Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Me and Kelly trying to pull ourselves up, trying to raise the level to 0.
What the hell are you talking about? I'm not equating you with Kelly.
I'm on my way to the coast.
You're not Kelly. You're not. I know phoniness when I see it. Kelly's a fuckface, a simpleton, and I know you're not that. So let's just keep the proper perspective here.
Well, in that case, actually, it's just an understudy thing.
For you?
No, for Kelly.
Oh, well, shit, that's a little better. As long as you don't have to act much on a regular basis. Phoniness. Leave it to the Kellys, man. Although, frankly, I don't know how much reality you're going to find on the West Coast either. The bullshit's just as thick as it is in New York. Kabbalistic enclaves dot the California landscape like postulating pimples.
Who said that?
I don't know. I read it in a gas station John in Santa Barbara. And so I got out a pen and I wrote just below it, "The last frontier scarred for life." Shit, just one more bit of information to jam up the system. You see, I spent months there just trying to deal with things, just trying to keep afloat. And then I married a rich broad. And I started a theater with her money. We did a few shows, Shakespeare, O'Neill, Albee, but they didn't last long because the union got hot over us, occasionally breaking their rules and regulations and forced us to close down. But you know what it was, don't you? It's the art. They couldn't handle the art. Artistic is pronounced another way in most places.
Rita comes in with 3 gin and tonics, a bowl of Doritos, salsa dip, vanilla wafers, and peanut butter on a tray.
How's it pronounced?
Autistic. Anything beyond autism simply confuses people.
What are you talking about?
You, honey.
Yeah, I bet. It's all lies. I don't think Frank's told the truth in years.
Hyperbolic recriminations.
And what the hell's that supposed to mean?
Words make her nervous.
Go to hell, Frank.
Rita, some things are true even if they never happened.
Don't quote shit to me.
It's a variation on Ken Kesey.
I hate when he does that.
Actually, I think it's kind of appropriate under the circumstances, don't you, Roger?
I always say if you can't use your own words, then you should just keep quiet. Well, help yourselves. This is as far as I go.
They each take a glass and a few snacks. Rita takes the vanilla wafers and begins to spread peanut butter on them.
So did you tell him?
No, just give me the chance, will you? Roger. I have brought the cuckoo's nest right to my own little place of abode. I've become a precious, priceless fruitcake. Nature's nut of the hour. The government's most fortunate freak.
I don't understand.
He means the government's going to send him mental disability checks, and he's not even crazy.
Rita.
At least why it's not the way they think.
Rita, you just be quiet and let me talk? Anyway, okay, it's like this. I've been in and out of psychiatrist's office most of my life. A real yo-yo trip. It's kind of like Benny Profane and the Times Square Grand Central Shuttle and Pynchon's novel, V. Everybody's trying to figure me out. You know, my parents could never understand why I wasn't cute and quiet like my two older brothers. My teachers could never understand why I couldn't follow directions. My Calvinistic minister could never understand why I hated God so much. And even I don't know where the hell he got that idea. Shit, I've been diagnosed by everybody. Diagnosed as...
Right.
What?
Just tell him, honey.
Yeah. So, okay, anyway. Me and Maggie only stayed together in LA 2 years.
Frank!
I'm getting to it. She split for Sausalito, back to her lazy luxury, and I took the little bit of money that she left me and ended up here, back home. Back where my parents let me rent their old house cheap to get me off their backs, and where I met crazy Rita.
Yeah, crazy.
And a beautiful, crazy shrink named Walter Chambers, who reads the kind of stuff I read and likes to talk to me about my ideas and regularly supplies me with Ritalin. No questions asked.
What's Ritalin?
It's an antidepressant, like an upper, for adults anyway.
As
It's
if,
kind
he
of like
doesn't,
speed.
as if he doesn't do enough dope.
It's called a prescription drug, Rita.
It's still dope.
Then Chambers got this beautiful idea. Since I'd been in a sanatorium a couple times, why not apply for mental disability? He helped me file the application, and I just got approval from the government today. I get a monthly check as long as I report periodically for a mental checkup. So as long as I just act crazy every once in a while, I'm set for life.
I don't believe it.
It's true.
So now I'm free.
But can that happen?
I guess.
Free to get on with my work.
I don't understand this.
Me neither.
No more hassles.
So he thinks.
Now I can clear the air.
We'll clear the air, all right.
Oh, my book will clear the air.
You'll be lucky if you manage just to clear this room.
Rita doesn't understand me sometimes.
A lot of times.
She thinks, in as much as she can, that I'm wasting my time.
Go to hell, Frank.
She's also a poor judge of contraceptives.
That's enough, Frank.
Wait a minute. So that's what you meant? Cuckoo's Nest Revisited.
Yeah, sort of.
With me fitting right in again, an aid to your illusion, so to speak.
Yeah, so you knew what I meant.
And it's so perfect.
Ain't it, though? It's an airtight solution.
Airtight, all right. Just wait till he goes for his checkup.
Hey, I'm a damn good actor, Rita.
Let's do a scene, Frank.
Huh?
Let's do a scene together.
When?
Now.
Why?
Because you're a damn good actor.
No.
Oh, go on, Frank. I'd love to see you do a scene.
No.
You know, I've never seen him on stage.
Good.
I don't want to.
Oh, come on. It's perfect. You, me, we'll go back to Cuckoo's Nest since we're halfway there anyway.
I'm going to love this.
I said no.
Come on, Frank.
Hey, now look.
Well, I did go out of my way to pay you a visit, didn't I? So the least you can do is do a scene with me for old time's sake.
He's right, Frank. That's the least you could do.
What is this? A conspiracy or something? Did you plan this while I was out buying vanilla wafers?
No, it just occurred to me.
All right. All right.
Hooray!
Hey, Rita, if you're gonna act like a peanut gallery, we can just forget it. Okay, Roger. A scene. I'll just see if I can find the script.
Don't bother. It's in my head.
Well, it ain't mine.
I know. I haven't written it yet.
But I thought you said Cuckoo's Nest.
An outtake. This is sort of like an outtake.
What is this, Roger?
What's an outtake?
Dead video.
Discarded video.
Huh?
How the hell can a play have an outtake?
Well, background then. Behind the scenes. Color.
Now look.
Just trust me, okay? Remember, you're safe now. Free.
This is sort of crazy all of a sudden.
No, it's sane. It's very, very sane.
Roger begins to pace.
So?
It's coming, it's coming.
Jesus.
And if you'll just stop talking for a minute, you'll see what I mean.
I'm not talking.
Not yet, Frank. It's just that being stuck in this aid role doesn't give me much of a chance, see? Even though I'm supposed to be one of the sane ones, one of the ones close to authority. And yet, that's just it. So close, yet so far away. Kind of like I exist only in limbo, only in transit. Like all I can do is look at the script from the outside. Look at the players dancing and laughing and partying and scheming. But I wait to shuffle on from the wings because that's my character, see? That's the way it's been written to keep me from the source of all that power. And maybe that's what it is. Power. Sometimes thinking that if I were a powerful enough person, I could just bust a hole in the world and reach in and grab what I wanted. And so he seemed to say, if you'd only let my eyes absorb you, let me suck you into me, you would be a part of a great power beyond yourself. A power that only I and others like me can really possess. I could do so much for you if you'd only see me for who I am, for what I represent, for how I can. End of outtake.
What?
End of scene.
That was a scene?
Yes.
That was a monologue, man. Where the hell were my lines? What were my actions? My objective?
You didn't get it.
No.
You don't remember.
What's there to remember? You made it up.
Yeah, I made it up.
That was weird, Roger. That was really weird.
Yeah, it gave me the chills.
Just an improv, as in freedom. You know, like letting a ball of string unwind until it gets to the end. That kind of unraveling.
Okay.
But then, there's nothing left. You're right. Nothing left. Strung out, so to speak.
Roger.
I told you.
Hush up. Roger, you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
You want to lie down or something?
No, look, I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
I've just got all these things racing around in my head. My mind is sort of cluttered. Just my way of trying to work through some of it, trying to prepare myself for what lies ahead.
Hey, man, it's okay. I understand. It's the world, man. It's the world on your ass. Bizarreness. It's weirdness. I understand. Shit. It's a good thing you got out of New York when you did. Like you said, you're safe here. Cocoon-like atmosphere. So just relax, call it a rest stop. Listen, why don't you do some dope?
Yeah. That should definitely help.
Rita, it should help mellow you out a little.
No thanks.
Well, how about another drink then?
No, I'm fine, really.
Well, I could sure use one. Honey, how about getting me a refill?
Frank,
Rita takes up Frank's glass and exits into the kitchen. Frank begins rolling another joint and lighting up.
An improv, huh?
Yeah, something I've been working on.
Working on for who?
Myself.
Well, why Cuckoo's Nest?
Because that's where it all started.
What?
My gradual shift in focus. My reality check. My journey through Native Son and Titus Andronicus and Dutchman. All the way up to my Camaro. And beyond.
Well, yeah. You know, I do know that all that driving can get you down. Shit, I drive across town. I'm a raving maniac. Fucking asshole people always getting in your way. I mean, I'd had it with LA and all the...
You've told me that already, Frank. You've told me what you've had it with.
Yeah, because this country's killing us by the thousands. There's no more real feelings. There's no more insights. It's 50s horror movie time. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers, shit like that. But I will say one thing, something you probably already know. With most black people, it's different.
How's it different?
Well, at least you're fighting, just like you said. At least your legacy makes you a part of the anti-world. The new blood that might just keep the system from running down completely. If there's any hope for the next era, it's with you, others like you.
Is that so?
Yeah,
Yeah, but you're not black.
of course I'm not. But there is such a thing as orientation and connection. I mean, dig into a picture novel. Right? Look at other writers. Look at the lines being drawn between the preterite and the elect. Look at the endless plots and entanglements. And then look at the positive riffs from underground, from buried souls that need to rise up out of the muck. Hell, it's almost like a jazz thing.
A black thing.
No, that's not what I mean, damn it. I'm not talking about digging up tired old cliches. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about new energy, man, and positive input. Us. I'm talking about us, about the need to recognize the interface between us.
Rita enters with the gin and tonic.
Your drink, Frank.
Hey, just set it down somewhere, honey. Hey, listen to this, Roger. Somewhere among the wastes of the world is the key that will bring us back, restore us to our earth and to our freedom. That's from Thomas Pynchon's Gravity's Rainbow. And I guess that best describes what I'm trying to do. The key. Find the fucking key. Look, let me show you some of my work.
Frank exits to the bedrooms.
Frank, don't drag all that stuff out here.
I want to show him.
It's boring.
To you, maybe.
It's boring as hell. He's got these stacks of papers all over the bedroom. It's like I can't get to him sometimes for all the papers, all the words. Who needs them?
He does.
Okay, my notes. Come here. I want to show you. So like I was saying, it's a little bit of everything. It's months of work, of research.
I'm sorry. But I can't read too much of this.
That's okay.
The handwriting.
Yeah, I never did have real legible handwriting.
I told him you ought to get a typewriter.
Can't type.
You could learn.
Rita, you type. I write. There's a difference.
Maybe so, but I make money typing, see? Money. I may be typing other people's stuff, but it's my money.
Well, that ain't the point now, is it? Typing's not the point.
You just don't want nobody to really see how stupid your ideas are, that's all.
Okay, I'm not listening to you right now, so just shut up, please. You getting any clearer?
Some of it.
These are just notes, elemental, rudimentary. Absolute clarity is going to take a while. I need time and space to think, to straighten things out. And once I do, I'm going to blast out of here like a fucking rocket to the moon.
And what about me?
You too, honey.
Me too what?
You, me, and Roger.
What do you mean, you, me, and Roger?
We're in this together.
We ain't nothing together.
Come on, you know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. Most of the time when you get like this, I don't understand a thing that you say.
When I get like what?
You know.
When I fucking get like what?
Don't yell at me.
I'm not yelling. This is my voice, my normal everyday voice. Who the fuck's yelling?
Well, it's not my fault you didn't make it.
Make it?
As a big star.
What are you talking about? You know what she's talking about? Because I don't know what she's talking about.
You know damn well what I'm talking about.
She doesn't understand a thing I've been saying.
Shit.
She just doesn't get it.
Yeah, and I don't want it either.
She doesn't have your insight. She misses our connection.
What connection?
She just can't feel the vibrations.
You're right, I can't.
Thank God you dropped by, Roger.
That's right.
Thank God for that.
Make me invisible.
Thank God for good friends who understand.
Who? Him?
Yeah, a fellow artist.
Shit.
Because it's about perception, about the ability to perceive.
Really?
Fucking right.
All right then, if you're so smart, so perceptive, just listen to this. I'm not pregnant.
What?
I said I'm not pregnant.
Not
Pregnant.
pregnant.
No.
And what the fuck was
An act. All an act.
an act?
Yeah, I did it and I was great.
All an act.
I knew I could do it. Now just go ahead and ignore me now.
You're kidding.
If you think so.
You mean you were just pretending?
No, Frank. Sweetheart. I was acting. acting.
What the hell difference does it make?
A lot. A hell of a lot. I can pretend by myself. I can pretend without thinking, without planning. I used to do it all the time as a kid. But this was acting in front of somebody, in front of you.
Why, you sneaky little...
Actress. I'm an actress.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, as good as you. He fell for it. The perfect audience. He fell for the whole thing.
I knew it all the time.
Like hell you did.
I did. I really did. It was me who was acting.
That wasn't acting, honey. That was real.
No, that was just great acting.
Real afraid, not pretend afraid.
She'll never learn, will she?
Learn what? Will you just talk to me? Will you just talk to me?
Real acting.
I learned enough to do a number on you.
When are you going to get it through your thick skull that I was just humoring you?
Yeah, you were funny, all right.
Just playing along.
You're just jealous, that's all.
Jealous?
Yeah, jealous. For the first time, I beat you, Frank Tracy. You, with your books and words and places you've been and people you've met and plays you've been in. You, and you can't stand it. You won't give an inch. You won't admit that I beat you, that I can act too when I want to. You're nothing but an egotistical piece of shit, Frank. All you, always you. And I hate it. All this pretense, all this bullshit. I hate it.
Rita.
Stay away from me.
I'm sorry.
Hell you are.
Hey, honey, listen.
Go talk to Roger. He'll listen to you.
Rita exits into the bedrooms.
I'll be damned. You know, she's right. She really had me fooled. I gotta hand it to her.
Don't you think she deserves to fool you?
Hey, now wait a minute. Let me just explain the situation to you, okay? You see, me and Rita need each other to survive in this town. It's need, man. Hell, she's the only other real person for miles. The rest are zombies. They walk around like the only thing behind their eyes is dead air, so I need her. And she needs me, too. It's just that she doesn't always know sometimes, doesn't understand. My ideas scare her. They make her want to put on earmuffs. But hell, I can't blame her, really. She grew up in a town down the road a tenth the size of this shithole. Her mother's dead, her brother stares at automobile parts in Detroit, and her father's a drunk, a real drunk. And she's scared that I'm going to turn out like him.
And of course, you don't think you will. Why are you here, Frank?
I already told you why.
Oh, you feel persecuted, pursued. You want to kick around like some wasted black jazz musician doing riffs in some funky little dive because his heart, his life, his soul's at stake. Is that it?
No, that's not it.
What then?
I told you, I want to be free. I want to be free to make my own choices, my own world. I got things I want to do, things I want to say. And I can't if there's a million people on my back.
No, of course you can't. Because you ain't the man. Not really.
Look, I don't know about you, but I can't mask the death and destruction. I can't pretend. I can't flatten things out into some pale, sedate, white, yeah, that's right, white sense of a world blown into easy numbness by fear and sameness.
Look who's talking about fear.
Yeah, well, there's all kinds of fear, you know.
I know there's all kinds of fear, all right? Then act. As in move. That is, keep moving, keep fighting.
I am fighting.
No, you've retreated.
From acting?
From the world.
No, from the business, man, from doing a dance, from the business of doing a dance. I'm through, finished. It's over. No more fucking strings over this man's head. No more puppet action. No more dancing in Zombieland.
And what do you call this here?
Look, if you can't see what I'm saying, that's fine with me. If you want to pursue bullshit for the rest of your life, that's just fine with me.
That's not what I meant.
Well, I can only go by what I see.
Then why don't you take a good look at yourself?
Why don't you just leave, huh? Why don't you just leave, huh? Shit, I thought you of all people would at least understand me. What'd you stop here for anyway? Look me over? Spit in my face? What? Why don't you just go on out to the coast in your kick-ass convertible like you're the fucking Black Red Baron? And
suddenly, music blasts from the bedroom. Rita has put on Janis Joplin's Try Just a Little Bit Harder.
Rita, will you turn that shit down?
Music continues to blast.
Rita! Son of a bitch.
Frank exits. Roger goes to his shoulder bag and takes out a gun. Facing downstage, he looks at it for a moment, then looks up. Music stops abruptly, and Roger quickly puts the gun away and puts his bag down in plain view of the coffee table. Frank and Rita begin to argue offstage.
Look, honey, I know how you feel.
Skin to skin, Frank. You hear me? It's skin to skin.
I know, honey, I know. I know. It's all better now, Raj. You're still stuck in the old cuckoo's nest, sorry. That was a joke.
He had gray eyes.
Who did?
I'd like for you and Rita to sit down for a minute or so, Frank. Sit down and listen to me for a minute or so.
Yeah, but what?
Sit down! Please. Just sit down.
Frank and Rita sit down on the sofa, the shoulder bag conspicuously before them.
I met him at this party at an apartment off Central Park. One of those places where each floor is one apartment. It's just that big. I didn't know a soul there except for Madeline, the woman I went with. And she had wangled an invitation from a friend of a friend, and there we were, this mixed couple who had just finished doing Dutchman off Broadway. Clay and Lula decked out as best we could and ready to enter this party given by somebody whose name we hadn't even heard of before that night. This prim-looking guy took our coats and we squirmed into this warm vat of beautiful people like baby eels. And after just 15 minutes, me standing alone at a table filled with food because I was hungry as hell, I saw him staring at me. I knew right then what was happening. And I thought, I've been in New York for 8 years. I came to this party for some reason, so what am I getting so nervous about? He called me up and we had lunch. I didn't tell Madeline about my fortune. I didn't tell anybody. I was going to go it alone, protecting my interests, my reputation. He was my height and very relaxed, and his hair was thinning, and I felt nervous. And we talked bullshit, and he said he could do things for me because he'd actually seen me in a couple shows, and I said terrific, and then suddenly thought, it's like being a fish. I took the train to Westchester, and he met me at the station, dressed casually, smiling. What a smile. It was priceless. It was Sunday afternoon, really bright and sunny. The air was like laughing gas. It was so different from New York's. And there was this silence, this fundamental silence. At first, I connected it with my parents' neighborhood, and I got this sudden chill. Then I connected it with this bubble I've been living in for more than 20 years that people tend to take for something like quiet intelligence or contemplative seriousness or diluted blackness. And that made me a little queasy. And then I remembered that he was talking to me about stupid shit like what we were going to have for dinner, and I felt a little numb. I'm sitting on this sofa in a dark paneled den wrapped in bookshelves and painting and pictures of people in the business, as they say. I'm sitting there, see? When suddenly the lights dim a little. I look up and see him coming toward the sofa, smiling. Jesus, what a smile. And he's carrying 2 glasses of brandy. This after shrimp cocktail and roast beef German style and baked potatoes and salad and wine and coffee. And my head's swimming with all the things he's been telling me about his life and his work, stories, anecdotes, dirty little jokes. He gives me a brandy and sits next to me on the sofa, and we toast to my future success. We put our glasses down on the table, and he tells me how glad he is that I've come. And I tell him that I really appreciate his hospitality. And then this silence seems to hit both of us over the head like a hammer. He smiles again. Smiles for the longest time. And I think that smile really has nothing to do with me. With who I really am, that is. It's as blind as a bat. I see a quick gleam in those eyes of his. It's something new, something kind of desperate. I hold my breath. And in the instant between that flash of light and his placing his hand on the back of my neck, I think about the people who give up a part of themselves as the key to opening some certain door. And I want to join them on that other side, want to be a part of something beyond myself. But the touch of this hand sends this chill down my spine like a bolt of lightning, and I knock it away quickly, instinctively. It's the first time I've ever seen him annoyed, angry. I let out a nervous little laugh and say, every other person in this country either wants your money or your ass. And do you know what he does? He laughs. He just rears his head back and laughs. And I see through that laughter a cheap, slimy, manipulative little white man who just knows he's got one more nigger by the balls. My eyes get hot and teary, and something seems to explode inside my head. And I hit him in the face as hard as I've hit anything or anybody in my life. And I keep hitting him, knocking his head back and forth like it's a pink punching bag until my knuckles get sore and his head just seems to dangle over the arm of the sofa like a slab of rancid meat. I've been killing white people all my life. But I never thought that it would ever actually happen.
Oh my God. Frank, we've got to do something.
Now it's your turn, Frank. Tell us a story and make it real, make it true. Tell us a story about the time I tried to kill you.
That wasn't real, Roger.
When?
That was fake.
I was serious.
He tried to kill you?
No,
Yes,
it was a mistake.
an excuse.
Yeah, you got carried away.
When?
It was a rehearsal.
My hands around your neck.
He choked you?
It's just a rehearsal.
They had to pull me off of you.
It was an intense rehearsal. That's
I
all.
wanted you dead.
No, you didn't.
Why won't you face it?
Because it isn't true.
Tell her why.
There's no why.
Tell her why it happened.
It didn't happen.
Tell her, damn it!
It was nothing. Rita. It was nothing. The kiss. That's all. It was just a hug and a kiss.
Just
It was just a little fascination.
whatever you say.
That's all. It was envy. I was drunk, delirious.
Scared me to death.
It was such a little thing.
And each night in Cuckoo's Nest, when I had to drag you down and subdue you, it was like I was trying to kill you. Not because I hated you, but because I hated myself for how much I was drawn to you, to your sense of power and abandon.
But it wasn't real, Roger. I was acting.
When? When were you acting? You know, even in the end, when Hank and I would wheel lobotomize you in on that gurney in front of Nurse Ratched, in front of all those crazies, I knew that you had won, had triumphed. And it was all I could do to take my eyes off you and leave the stage.
Roger, hey.
And when the lights would fade on Cuckoo's Nest, it would all be over for the moment, and we'd all be backstage, and you'd be laughing, joking, like it was nothing, like it was a piece of cake. I'd sneak a look at my hands, at my black hands, and see them sweating and shaking with rage and fear, and wonder what I could do with it all. Where could I put it? Why don't you do me a little favor now, Frank? Do your good buddy a little favor. Tell me I win. Tell me I win this time.
Win? Win what? What the fuck are you talking about? You ain't win nothing. You just stepped in it. You just stepped in it nice and good, right on up to your neck in it.
Roger goes to his shoulder bag and takes out the gun.
Oh my God.
Tell me I win, Frank.
Oh, well, now that's slick. That's really slick.
Please don't kill him, Roger.
Stay out of this, Rita! I win. Right?
Tell him yes, Frank.
I said, stay out of this, Rita. Right?
Oh God.
All right, Roger. You got the power now. You got the fucking power. So I guess you win.
Fucking right. And one more thing, Frank.
Roger uncocks and lowers the gun. Then he goes to his shoulder bag and takes out a framed 8x10 photograph and gives it to Frank. It's a picture of Frank and the producer, who has an arm around Frank's shoulders.
Where'd you get this?
Sort of lifted it from his den. You and him at some party. Arms around each other.
Morris Hathaway.
Yeah. All post Easy Rider and shit.
Oh, man. So many kinds of deals, Roger. So many tiny little ways to be corrupted. Pretty soon you lose count. The movie never led to anything anyway. Not really. Things often lead to nothing. You must have learned that by now. Haven't you at least learned that? Things often lead to nothing.
Or something. Like with your Social Security scheme.
Look, on the coast, I was in a trance most of the time. Either that or I was drunk. And when I was working, it was like I don't know. One day I just woke up and found myself here. Back where I started. In the middle of the country. Where a view of the ocean is just another wet dream. Look, I was born here, damn it. I was right in this house, right in that bedroom back there, popping out of my mom before my dad even had a chance to get his shoes on. So it's sort of like a place for me to begin again. I've got to begin again. It's the only way.
Roger places the gun on the coffee table.
Get the police. Call them. Call somebody.
You don't want to call nobody, do you, Frank? You just want to get closer to that feeling, that freedom in your soul. Whatever it is, writing, talking to yourself into oblivion, looking for it.
You've been looking for it too.
In the darkness, his fear made live in him an element which he reckoned with as them. Native son.
Frank, get the gun. Get it.
No, it's all right.
Are you out of your mind?
I tell you it's all right.
Rita rushes to the coffee table and picks up the gun, pointing it at Roger.
All right, you son of a bitch.
What the hell are you doing, Rita?
Just get the hell out of here.
Put the damn thing down before you hurt yourself.
I asked you to come here anyway.
Nobody.
Then just go. We don't need you.
But what about Smokey and Janice?
Roger makes a gesture towards Rita that causes her to pull the trigger. The gun fires. Roger barely reacts. Rita stares at the gun.
Jesus Christ!
It's a prop gun, a starter pistol.
Frank takes the gun from Rita and places it and the photograph on the coffee table.
My God, Frank, my God.
You know, I got off the highway on the other side of town, literally across the tracks. I was so lost. Got directions from this black service station attendant. Caught the look in his eyes. Kind of like, "You sure you want to go over there, brother man?" I followed this little map he'd sketched out for me on a napkin and watched the complexion of this town change right before my eyes. And I thought, it's like the sirens. The sirens. When will these sirens stop singing in my head? You see, I want to believe you, Frank. I really do want to believe that we exist in the same space. I really do want to believe in your interface. But not at the expense of the freedom in my soul. I'd better be heading out. I need to see California real soon. Gotta see the Pacific Ocean. I want to sit on top of one of those sand dunes I've heard so much about and look out over the Pacific Ocean like it's the edge of the world. Hell, Mike could one day even be a star. Or at least a comet.
What about Hathaway?
What about him?
Son of a bitch. You didn't kill him, did you?
Well, let me see now, Frank. Which answer would make me the least crazy? I gotta thank you, Frank. Thank you with all my heart.
Thank me for what?
For being here. In my head, I mean. All this time.
Roger exits. Frank and Rita just look at each other, then to the gun and the photograph on the table between them. Music rises slowly. It's Steely Dan's Home at Last. End of play.